I will discuss the use of Hep C donor. So I mean, you know that there is a problem of organ shortage. You know also that there is a wide distribution of anti-HCV positive patients, and this is why the anti-Hep C positive liver graft may represent a resource. So we know that the seroprevalence of Hep C is higher in donors in comparison to overall population. In US, it has been shown that it can be as high as 5.6% in high-risk donors. In France, it is less, 1.4%. But when you look at what has been done in France, where it is possible to do it since 2006, in 7 years, only 56 of these donors, so 16% were harvested for transplantation, mostly for kidney, and 36 only for liver, so less than 10% from the original possibility. So this was done before the advent of the new DAA, and this may reflect some hesitation to use this donor in France, which is not the case in the US. So indeed, there is a dilemma to use this graft, the risk of transmission of the virus and the benefit for the patient, how to maximize benefit and minimize risk, to select well donor and recipient pair, control the risk of infection, and to have an effective prophylaxis or treatment. So now you know that all donors are currently screened for Hep C status. ELISA testing is a gold standard and is very effective. So the point is that this is a testing of HCV RNA in the context of emergency when you have an available donor. So it was not, for instance, in France, it was not possible until this year. And since this year, we have the possibility to have, in some region of France, to have the testing for the genome testing in 2 hours' time. So we now have the possibility to know if the donor is HCV RNA positive. The point also is to assess fibrosis of the donor, and this can be a discussion we may have later on. So the point is that in France, also anti-Hep C liver graft can be allocated only to patients who consent to research such organs. So what we know regarding the transmission to recipients who are negative HCV RNA, the risk of transmission has been evaluated in some study to 48%, and in kidney 25% in heart, and in liver we know that this donor has no replication, there is no transmission. If the donor is replicative, 100% transmission to the recipient. Also, it has been shown by several studies, particularly from US, where it is common to use this such donor, that from the virologic point of view, one strain can dominate after transplantation, and it has been shown that at least in 50% of the cases, the donor strain was dominating the recipient strain, as shown in this table. This with a genotype change in some patients as a dominant strain. And it has been shown also in our studies that when the donor strain became predominant, the disease-free survival was longer than those with the recipient strain. The outcome after liver transplantation is listed in this table. It's difficult to read, but what I can say is that first you can see that if you look at the result, in many cases you have not the status of the donor and the HCV RNA status, which is a problem. And what has been shown mainly is the survival and the impact of survival. So most of the conclusion of this study is that there is almost no or minimal impact on survival, but in fact there are very few studies looking really cautiously to this, and we have in fact no such very good information. In this study, indeed, there was no impact on survival. Here are the donors who are anti-HCV negative. Here are in red the donors who are anti-HCV RNA positive and anti-HCV RNA negative. You can see that there is no difference in survival in this series. So, but what is the definition of recurrence? We have no very good histological biopsy in most studies, and there is one study where they show that the HIV-positive donor was associated with a higher risk of recurrence, higher advanced disease. But now it has been shown by previous speakers that HIV recurrence is curable in most cases, and things are completely changing. And so there are some pros and cons regarding the use of this donor now in this new DA era. Of course, the advantage is to limit organ shortage, and Nora told that the waiting time is more than 18 months in all patients. But the number of donors is low. 5% is really a maximum, I mean, in US, and in France it's much less. Also, it is important, I mean, to have the ability to have, of course, ELISA test, but also to have genome testing in the SERA before to decide. I mean, and also there are two points to see the risk for the recipient. So the pro are that there is a similar patient and graft survival. There is a question regarding the lower quality of the graft, and particularly if there is some degree of fibrosis, and is there an impact on the outcome of the donor. Of course, you, as a pro now, we have access to multiple DA. And also, what is new also that most patients who are HIV positive will be treated and will arrive at time of, if they are potential donors, many will be negative for HIV RNA at time of donation. So this is a proposal to accept graft from Hep C infected donor in this new era. And this is, of course, a proposal. Of course, if you know that the donor is Hep C RNA negative, what is the remaining question is the degree of fibrosis of the patient, and we may discuss how to evaluate fibrosis of the donor before to choose the donor. Currently, we consider that when the fibrosis stage is evaluated at 2 or more, the graft should be rejected, but maybe you disagree with this. But if the graft is with the fibrosis is below 2, then the patient can be, the graft could be transplanted. The point is that also, can we put such grafts who are HIV RNA negative to an HIV RNA negative recipient? And this is a question. When the Hep C RNA is positive or not known due to absence of testing, once again you have to evaluate the degree of fibrosis. If the patient, if the donor is F0, F1, the recipient should, who should receive the graft should be Hep C RNA positive. But again, if fibrosis stage is over 2 or equal to 2, probably you should reject the graft. So this is a proposal that we can discuss, and I thank you for your attention, and I thank particularly Audrey Qualley for this. Thank you.